What is going on YouTube? This is MotoSarge signing in, and in today's video we're bringing you yet another test ride, but the first test ride of the 2021 models for Harley-Davidson. I'm heading down to Fort Benning Harley-Davidson right now. I'm in the wife's van. Didn't want to bring the Dyna down here to the shop because I have a feeling that after today's test ride I may have stuck around a little bit longer than expected at the dealership and possibly would have ended up making a mistake. So let's roll the intro and get on with today's video.
Hard work, bringing on the doors in the morning. Hard work, work up, and let's go to work. Hard work, hard
This 114 is bad, guys. My goodness. Woo! Now I've ridden a few Harley-Davidsons. The 114, I test rode the FXDF 114, which was a fun bike. And then also too, I had the privilege to test ride the CVO Road Glide, which was bad. So much bigger motor, or not much bigger, but slightly bigger motor, but a lot more weight. Now, just from that first pull, I will tell you, this is insane. Like, this bike is going to be a lot of fun, and I feel kind of bad because it only has 2 miles on it, so I can't really, I got a short shift almost everything, but oh my gosh. Oh, I want one so bad. I want one so bad. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture of the Baja Orange edition of this bike and was like, you know what? Harley-Davidson might be getting more of my money. And that was just from the aesthetics of the bike. I really like the way the Street Bob looks. I mean, this test ride video, guys, if you guys have watched a few of my other test ride videos, you know I like to do pros and cons. And I've test rode the 2020 Street Bob. So the cons are going to be real similar to that 2020, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. But I'm going to go up here and hop on the interstate and really see what this bike could do. I tell you, like, just not even like 25% throttle, this thing wants to just pull. It's been a minute since I've been on a bike without a fairing though. Little spoiled of my Memphis shades, but this thing, I mean, it rained yesterday, so a little wet, not too bad, but I ain't trying to drop this in a corner, so we're not going too crazy. But I do like the mid controls. That's the one thing that I do wish. There's some water right here, might be some ice. I wish it wasn't wet right there. I would have got on it, guys. Oh, I'm not even cracking the throttle, man. And I got up to 85 miles an hour, like no problem at all. This 114 in this Street Bob platform is insane. I can't do anything but laugh. Oh my gosh. I love it. I absolutely love this bike. This is deadly, guys. This is deadly. I mean, if you want to have more fun, what better way than to get more power, right? I mean, hopefully this camera, you guys could at least see me. Let me just adjust that a little bit. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll get over here to the lake and snap the thumbnail for the video and double check my camera placement because I don't know the setup. But yeah, normally my buddy Rev does the specs for us on the motorcycles, but unfortunately this morning he was unable to kind of assist a little bit. But I did do some research because I'm not gonna lie, I am really considering this motorcycle. So I wanted to do some kind of research on it and see what the bike is if I decided to part ways with the Dyna guys and get one of these new Softail M8s. But so a little bit of the specs before we get into the pros and cons. You know, it does pack the 114 cubic inch Milwaukee 8, which, what you guys feel, woo, that pull sensation of the motorcycle is the torque, which it does have 119 foot-pounds of torque. So this bike, being extremely lightweight, I think, you know, coming wet, it's about 650 something pounds. I could be wrong. I'll throw the specs up, actually, the dimensions of the bike on the screen here from Harley-Davidson's website, just to make sure I'm not lying to you guys. But of the Softail platform, this is the lightest bike, and it packs the 114. So, just, yeah. Oh, man. So much fun. So much fun. Whew. Now, in addition to the motor change in 2021 compared to the 2020 model, is that they also did the two-up or the Pillion seat with the rear passenger pegs. I think that was a solid move on Harley-Davidson's part. Now, you know, this Pillion passenger seat isn't going to be the most comfortable for you two-up rider. I throw lightweight rear passengers on the bike, such as my kids, and I think this, you know, Pillion seat would be plenty for them. But they really definitely were listening to the consumers, because the Street Bobs before did not come with a two-up option. You would have to get the rear passenger pegs plus the Pillion seat and stuff like that. So now you're coming off the showroom floor with that passenger Pillion. Now, as far as your wheels go, up front you're running a 19-inch wheel, and in the rear you're running a 16. Tire size in the front you're running, I believe, a 190, and in the back is like a 160/50. I don't know, guys. I'll throw that up on the screen here. I should have probably looked at that first, but I'm kind of guessing off of the research I did last night. But yeah, tire size, it's a little, you know, narrower than what I rock with the Fat Bob. But I mean, I just feel like this thing is going to handle really well as long as you maintain your, as long as you maintain your throttle control. You know, if you get into a corner and you kind of get that whiskey throttle with the 114 and the light motorcycle with the narrower tires, you're gonna break traction. I mean, you're just gonna do it, right? Oh well. But yeah, tire size, pretty good. You are rocking a single disc up in the front as far as your brake. I do wish, you know, it did have, you know, a dual brake caliper up front. But for the price, guys, I mean, this bike, the 2021, is only around $400 more MSRP than the 2020 model. And you're getting the 114, and you're getting the passenger Pillion with the rear passenger pegs. And then also, one thing that I had no idea, but Rev pointed out to me, is I do like to do some longer rides, right? But most of the time I run into issues with charging my devices or my cell phone or something. There is a USB port on this thing for you to be able to hook up your smartphone and charge it on the fly. You know, in that B-roll footage I did point it out. I think that's a great addition to this bike, and that's something that, you know, I kind of wish that my bike had too. Now, some of the other things, you know, with the 2021 model, all of your, you know, indicators and everything, it's a Harley, right? So you're gonna have your left turn signal, your right turn signal, you're gonna have your hazards, your horn, right, your engine on-off switch. But with the Street Bob, what's different, and a lot of people are kind of on the fence about, is this speedometer, tachometer built into your riser. Now, some of the manufacturers are starting to catch on, because they do know that everybody that buys a Harley, you end up doing aftermarket parts. Oh, even that quick shift scoots me back in the seat, wakes me up. But you end up doing aftermarket parts, so you end up wanting to do like risers or Apes or something like that. So some of the aftermarket companies are kind of getting on board. I'll mention later, but this is definitely, you know, something that I think is cool, because it brings it up more eye level, so you're not having to glance down. And with this style bike, that's definitely probably the route I would go with it. But the indicator down there in the risers, it's bright enough. Like I said in my 2020 review, is I could still see that. I could still see what gear, if I wanted to change the settings on there. So I have my miles, trip A, trip B, my range for my fuel. Now, it is a smaller tank. It's a 3.5 gallon, I believe, tank. So you're getting around 47 miles per gallon. So roughly around 140-ish depending on how you ride, miles to your tank. So it does have a smaller tank, but for my style riding, guys, I mean, yes, I do like the idea of getting out and throwing down miles, but what I also like doing is kind of getting out and feeling like I'm a kid all over again. And I do more like in and around town. I do more up in the twisties, and this bike would suit that style riding like unbelievably. I mean, you got the power. If you wanted to do long hauls, you definitely can. I mean, one thing I do like with Harley-Davidson is you could get the docking hardware for the back to be able to do a sissy bar, so then you could, you know, strap down some luggage and actually go out on long rides for days on end. You could put some saddlebags on here if you want to even pack more storage for those longer rides. You could get fairings and windshields and all that kind of stuff to make this more of a touring type, although it's not meant to be a touring style motorcycle. Harley has those out there. Check out the other models. But for the Street Bob to have the 114, I think Harley just hit this one out the park, man. Like, to be 100% honest, this bike in 2021 will probably get some of my money. I'm just saying, guys, just forewarning on the channel, I do love my Harley-Davidson Dyna Fat Bob. I do love where I took that bike to, you know, from the blank canvas that it was when I first bought it. It doesn't ride anywhere near that this one does. Like, oh, I don't even want to go back to Harley right now. Like, I might take a little extra detour because today they messed up and they gave me a bike that has a full gas tank. So let's burn some fuel on Fort Benning Harley-Davidson's dime. What do you guys say? Now, coming to a stop, it does feel that it has, well, not really, but yeah, real quick. Coming to a stop, it does have a low seat height. So if you're, you know, not gifted when it comes to height, like I am, I'm roughly about 5'10", guys, but I have really short legs. You're gonna be able to flat foot this bike, no problem. And then also with the mid controls, it takes some time getting used to if you're coming from forward controls, because I do like the feel of being outstretched out here. But once I, you know, feel like I would get used to these mid controls, I do like the sense of control of the motorcycle that you have from the mid controls. Me growing up, I grew up on a dirt bike background, so this kind of puts me more at home rather than the forward controls. And being only 5'10" with shorter legs, my legs aren't sticking up too far that I just look like a clown on a little pedal bike. Oh, this is fun, man. This is a lot of fun, guys. This bike, gotta be, you know, respectful for it because it is brand new. Can't really just let loose as much as I would want to. Gotta let it properly break in, but just being able to kind of do those little pulls here and there, not let the RPMs go up too high. Be respectful. I want to do more test rides in 2021 with Fort Benning, but this thing, it has so much power. So much power. Some other things as far as the specifications, it does come with the LED headlight, which I like because I did have to buy that for my Dyna, and that was like $200-300 I didn't want to spend. What else? Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that's it for the spec. No, let me take that back. It comes with some mini Apes, which, you know, are cool. They definitely put you in a comfortable riding position. You have a lot of control of the motorcycle with these Apes, but I'd switch them out. Yeah, I'd switch them out. So that's it. That's enough specs. I mean, I know you guys don't come to my test ride video to get specs. Definitely not the best at it. To be honest, I'm pretty horrible at it. So I kind of avoid breaking down the specs of anything I do. But just wanted to share a little bit with you guys. I mean, I do like the simplicity of the tank. Nothing here other than the gas cap. You know, it's so clean. Like, this bike is so clean. Comes in 4 different colors. Comes in vivid black. Comes in Baja orange, which is hot, just not my thing. It comes in stone washed white pearl, and then a deadwood green, which I mean, looking at the helmet, guys, I mean, definitely would have to go with the deadwood green. Fort Benning, if you guys get the deadwood green in, I got first dibs, guys. I mean, don't sell my bike. Oh, so much power. I'm gonna do a little extra detour because we're about back to Harley-Davidson, and I had so much fun twisting the throttle. I didn't do any pros and cons on the bike, as well as, you know, what I would do to the bike to get it started, to kind of break that in to make it your own, right? So I'm gonna go up here and hang a left instead of going straight back to the dealership, and give you guys a little bit pros and cons, as well as the modifications I would do initially to the motorcycle within like the first like 90 days. Yeah, right. So let's bang a left. Yeah, let's bang a left. I think if I go out this way, I could cut out some and then come back a different way to Harley. Yeah, we'll do it. All right, so my pros and cons. Let's start with the cons first, because I don't really, going into 2021, I'm trying to be more positive. So let's just get the negative stuff out the way. If I were to give this bike any cons, I'll still say the seat is con number one. They did do a better job kind of giving it a little bit more design, as you guys saw in the B-roll footage, and they do have the passenger pillion. So Harley, way to go on this edition. But with the power of this lightweight Freedom machine, I still feel like I am sliding out the back of it when I twist that throttle. So I would like a little bit more of a step up to kind of sink you in and lock you in position, because this is a performance bike. Entry level to the soft tail frame, but with the 114, I mean, this thing packs a larger motor than the Sport Glide. So would like the seat to be a little bit more like locked tight, so I kind of feel like I'm not going to fall off the back. It got a little chilly on this back road over here, guys. Woo! I'm shivering now. This was probably a bad idea. It's a little back road in the shaded area, but it's all right. We're still riding, enjoying our time out here on a motorcycle that hasn't taken my money yet. This spot's pretty cool over here. I've taken some photos for my Operation Therapeutic Photo a Day Challenge out here, you know, down those train tracks right there. And I wanted to take some over here underneath this thing, but I try not to ride over this way on the Dyna, because this road right here is extremely bumpy. But on the Softail, just twist that throttle and go. All right, so con number two, and it will be my last con, would be, I would say, the brakes, right? Having a 114 with a single disc in the front, kind of, it's counterproductive. I mean, yes, I want to go really, really fast, like 95% of the time. However, if I'm going really, really fast, the flip side of that is if I need to stop, I need to be able to stop really fast. Now, it's an upgrade you could do, got it. Probably would hit up, you know, Lindale brakes and maybe, you know, try to rock dual calipers in the front to give me a little bit more stopping power. But coming off the showroom floor, in order to keep the price down, I get it, Harley can't put dual calipers on this thing. Let's go straight. We're getting further away from Fort Benning, guys. So who knows when they'll let me test ride a new 2021, but hopefully the team over there understands, man, you can't just get out on the bike for like 10 minutes. Enough of the cons. It's 2021. It's a new year. It's time to be more positive, right? Yes. Pros of this motorcycle, the 114. I mean, easy way out, 114. You throw a 114 Milwaukee 8 into any Harley-Davidson right now, and I feel like it's gonna fly off the showroom floor. I mean, people are gonna buy it, and it's just a lot of fun to ride. Like, a lot of fun to ride. That's all I can say about the Milwaukee 8. I mean, everything about it. The transmission shifts smooth, the motor smooth pulls through all gears, crazy amounts of torque, you know, regardless of the RPM range you're in. I mean, the thing just wants to pull. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Way to go, putting the 114 in a 650-pound motorcycle. Smart. So pro number two, I will say I do like the mid controls. Like, I'm a big fan of the mid controls. One, because I have shorter legs, and having the forward controls, a lot of people say it's more comfortable because you could stretch out, you know, on long rides and stuff like that. Stretch out your hamstrings if, you know, you just did leg day the day before. But for me, with the shorter legs, I find, you know, I get a lot more like hip discomfort on longer rides with my forward controls. On these mid controls, I feel like, you know, I'm good. I have a lot of maneuverability of my legs, and so I have a lot more control over the motorcycle, getting into the corners and all that kind of stuff. Now, it is kind of awkward for me to get my feet up off the floor and put them on the pegs, just because I'm used to putting them out. But with time, I get more used to it. So I do like the fact that this bike still comes, stay there, comes with mid controls. And my last pro, which is hard to say, I only have three, because I could probably do a video of nothing but pros of this motorcycle and everything I love about it. But my last pro would be the idea that Harley put the USB port on this Street Bob. I don't know, I mean, maybe that's kind of, you know, the millennial thing of me to want to have the ability to charge you know, my iPhone and all that kind of stuff when I'm out and about, or even, you know, bring, you know, my charger for my GoPros and stuff. And if I find myself in a bind, just pull over and charge up a GoPro real quick and get back after doing videos for you guys. But I like that USB port. So way to go, Harley, of adding that small subtle touch. You know, it's hidden, you can't see it, and definitely kudos to you to thinking about, you know, the future Harley-Davidson riders. All right, so about to head back to Harley-Davidson, but before we do so, we need to go about, you know, what I would do to this motorcycle. Some of the things that I would do initially to this motorcycle, just because it's what I like, right? I wouldn't necessarily do exhaust right off the rip, because I don't know if you guys watch some videos on YouTube, but some people are saying, you know, your aftermarket tuners aren't going to work. I don't know how true that is. Maybe in time, you know, the aftermarket industry is going to pick that up and kind of come out with a tuner that will work on this new ECU, I think. I don't know. So I probably wouldn't do an exhaust right away. However, if I were to do exhaust in the future, it'd definitely be a 2-in-1. Probably a Two Brothers. Definitely a Two Brothers or a D&D on this thing. But what I would do first, because I just got my Plex audio on the Dyna, and if I get rid of the Dyna, the Plex audio is coming with me, guys. Just saying. I mean, I love that thing. So in order to be able to rock my Plex on my 2021 Harley-Davidson Street Bob 114, I would have to get a fairing. So I would probably end up doing, you know, of course, another Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing, or I do like the Gauntlet fairing too. Kind of gives it that Sons of Anarchy, I know I got it, guys, but gives it that kind of different look. Or Moon's MC. I really like the look of Moon's MC quarter fairing. I would definitely do a fairing on this motorcycle, just to kind of cut a little bit of that wind off my chest, and then more importantly, give me the ability to put my Plex audio on here. And with a fairing, you know, you definitely would want to change your bars. I mean, you don't want a fairing and then not change your bars, right? I mean, maybe you do, but I would want to change the bars out. I'm going to throw these risers back up here on the screen. These are from Thrashing Supply. I'm looking at those risers if I get this bike. Now, they are kind of expensive, and I would still have to get like a moto style bar as well to be able to put in those risers, but I do like the fact that it would bring my gauge up higher, and I just like the overall look of these Thrashing Supply risers. I think it would complement this bike very well. And then mod number 3, I would switch out my seat. Just because I'm spoiled with my Whiplash Gambler seat, I would want that, you know, on this initially, especially if I'm changing, you know, the pitch of my bars and stuff like that. So I would probably do a seat right off the bat, because I feel like I waited way too long on the Dyna to do that. So I'd want to do a seat right off the jump, because you're looking about $400 or $500 for something that's going to change a lot of the comfort of your ride. I don't know if I would do Whiplash again. I do like my Gambler seat, but I like to try new things too. So maybe a Lucky Dave's, or maybe even a Saddleman. I don't know. Maybe a Whiplash again. Whiplash, if you're watching me, you want to sponsor the channel. Just kidding. So yeah, the mod number 3, a seat, and then because it's cheap, I would go ahead and get some shorty levers on here and some new grips, because if I'm doing the bars, I might as well do levers and grips. That would be about it for a long time, because, you know, like I said, exhaust is expensive. Aftermarket tuners need to kind of catch up with the 2021 ECU and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to do it for today's test ride video, guys. If you guys like test rides, I do plan on doing several throughout 2021. I would like to test ride every single model that comes through Fort Benning Harley-Davidson. So if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button right up here on the screen, guys. I really appreciate it. It definitely helps out the channel move forward. Thank you for tuning into another video, and this is MotoSarge signing out. Oh.